weekly live. Joanna Wright here, founder of Bottom Line Wealth, giving you some tips and strategies. We have so much coming down the pike in the next 2 weeks that I really wanted to chime in live here and bring to you, like even, the tax strategies that are changing, the active versus passive is really the bottom line, right? So are you an active investor or are you a passive investor? Let me make sure you guys can hear me here. It said I couldn't. All right. Again, one more time, because you didn't hear me. Joanne Wright, founder of Bottom Line Wealth. We're speaking active investor and passive investor. I want you guys to really understand what that means. And, of course, everyone wants to be passive, right? I would imagine you all just want to do whatever you want to do, and regardless of a job or responsibilities. Like, that's the kid in us, right? That's the kid in us that just wants to go out and play. And of course, why wouldn't you? Like, that's kind of what you're taught growing up, right? Is, go outside and play. And so we did. And now it's kind of videos. Everyone's going into videos and playing. But regardless, nobody's holding like the responsibility level in a fun way, right? So we're looking for passive investments so that we can have more fun. And I have loads, I almost cursed there. I have loads of fun in my real estate investing. I've been living off real estate for over 20 years and doing the active side and passive side of real estate investing, working on wholesale, fix and flip, buy and hold, and money lending, the 4 strategies that I cover in here so that you can keep more of the money that you make, because I geek out on the tax and legal side. I am not giving any financial advice whatsoever. I am just stating that my CPA gives me all kinds of great tips into keeping more of the money I make, and then I share that with my clients. So with that being said, I do have a tax thing I want to bring up to you guys today, and that is the depreciation. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen real quick so that you guys know what I'm talking about. Just some real simple stuff here today so that you guys can get some nuggets, right? So an active investor versus a passive investor, right? So what I want you guys to focus on is, as every time you do a wholesale, which is also a realtor, right? So I'm speaking to you realtors too, right? Realtors and wholesalers are the same. Now, don't argue with me like, no, they have to have a license. No. I got that part. I'm a licensed realtor myself. I'm also a wholesaler, and they have the same job to match up sellers and buyers. Okay. Well, we'll leave all the nitty gritty to actual training on wholesale. Okay. But for all intents and purposes, realtor. So being active is, you're unemployed at the end of every escrow, right? You're unemployed at the end of every escrow, whether you wholesale it, whether you're a realtor. And the same thing really goes for fix and flip, right? You're unemployed at the end of that flip, and now you're trying to go find another one so that you can create the cash again. It's not self-sustaining. None of these, they're not self-sustaining. And what I see is, especially in realtors, is they will work until they're 80-something years old and just pass out from working. Now, of course, they'll sit there and say, well, I love my job. I love what I'm doing. And I love being a realtor as well. I love that whole transformation and giving somebody something that they didn't think they can get a hold of, which is it's a big asset. I get it. I get that feeling. And so you want to just keep that going for you. So what if I can tell you, you could still do that, however, be the investor side too, the passive side. So this is what I learned as a realtor, was that it definitely was not self-sustaining to just constantly chase after the next lead, the next client, the next living commission check to commission check, right? And then as a wholesaler, I go, it's very similar, but I'm going to keep more of the money I make because it's not going through my brokerage. right? And you have every right to wholesale as a realtor. Matter of fact, they're making it legal in Illinois and Oklahoma to be a licensed realtor in order to wholesale. So you as a realtor can wholesale. So I've had realtors come to me and say, I can't do that. How do I do that? Right. It is perfectly legit for you to wholesale to be an investor. Okay. So if your broker says no, they're lying. Look at California law, always go by law, not blogs or what someone said, or go by law is what I always say, because I geek out on the tax and legal side of things. And it's been the best thing that it's ever happened to me, because when I lost everything in 2008, I got into taxes. And once I read tax law, I go, why isn't everybody doing this? So it's because none of us wants to read tax scripture. I get it. So that's my job. I feel like, to channel tax scripture to my friends and family here to help you guys understand there's a better way. And it's written in the tax law. You just have to know. Okay, that's enough off that soapbox. But anyways, so the passive side, buy and hold, and money lending. I mean, ultimately, this is the ultimate, and that's be the bank, right? I mean, because isn't the banks where you keep your funds like the most trusted place, first of all, and the most crooked place sometimes, some banks, but all of them have to go through serious scrutiny to handle your money, right? But they get paid well for it. So if you could be a money lender making, so what the bank does is they get your money in, they tie it up in a pretty bow, and then they send it off in a big package with the whole bulk of you to somebody else to invest in, and they get a return on investment. So why aren't you doing the same? If the bank's doing it, that should be your clue that you should be doing it too. But you're like, Joanna, how do I do that? Well, I got to tell you, I've got some things coming up. I'm going to tell you about in a little bit, so stay tuned, right? If you're interested in knowing how to beat the bank, just type bank in the comments below, right? How to beat the bank, okay? I have a whole strategy on that I teach my clients, but this is how you want to look at it too. What tax bracket are you in? You need to beat the bank, right? So do you need to beat the bank in a tax version way or in a cash flow way, right? So the first way is, your tax bracket, right? Like, do you need something to write off? Are you making too much money? And somebody might sit there and say, how could I make too much money? Like, I want to make $1 bazillion every day. I get it, but you're still going to have to pay taxes, right? So here's how you keep more of the money that you make. A lot of it's through real estate, the depreciation, right? The depreciation is so golden. I mean, that's the number one reason that most investors even start. Like, let's just say high-end executives, doctors, people who make multiple six figures a year, and they're paying a ton in taxes because of it, right? So they need a tax break. So if you read tax law, it's all about how to keep more of the money you make, really. So that's why I started training on it. I teach women entrepreneurs to create wealth in real estate and keep more of the money they make so they can have a secure future and spend more time with their family. Like, that is super powerful in itself right there. If you go no further, just that is powerful. Why wouldn't everyone want to do that, right? And a lot of it is just because they don't know no better. They just don't know no better. And it's okay. I'm here to help you learn a little bit along the way. My clients they pay for the speed, right? They get to know that right now. You guys get the weekly trainings, and hopefully with each weekly training, it leads off of each other to the next one. So you're like, oh, this is a great tip. I can strategize with it and make this happen in my life, right? So hopefully this is helpful for you guys. You can type value in the comments, let me know. But depending on the tax bracket you're in, you're wanting to know if you need to keep more of the money you make, what strategy you need for that. And real estate is usually the number one reason. And then some people might be saying, well, I don't know how to get started in real estate investing. And some of you might just say, oh, I'm going to call a realtor. They're going to handle everything for me. I don't have the time. That's great. You're building a portfolio, but there's also another way. You could be a part of a large build, right? Like, let's just say 120 units or more. You could be a part of that and own multiple doors instead of onesie twosies everywhere. So you get to keep more of the money you make faster by being a money lender, right? Does that make sense? So this is where a lot of people get a little twisted on how it all works. And this is where I'll deep dive with you. So if you guys need that, just write deep dive into the comments, and I'm happy to jump on a call with you guys to explain. But just to keep a 30,000 foot view here for you guys, for all intents and purposes for the training, just know if you need a tax write-off, there's depreciation in real estate, and it's one of the number one things that you can get a hold of to keep more of the money you make, okay? And then if you need cash, let me go over the 4 quadrants real quick. And this is from Robert Kiyosaki. He goes over this so that you can, get the books, whatever. It's from Robert Kiyosaki. He goes over cash flow, appreciation, depreciation, amortization. So he actually puts it in a square, or tic-tac-toe box, you might call it, right? And he says, do you need cash flow or do you need depreciation? So how you could work it is, if you're brand spanking new and you have no cash, you can get a hold of a property and you can get a private money lender to be a part of the deal who needs the depreciation. So you get the cash flow, they get the depreciation, and you split what's going on in the appreciation portion of it, right? And the amortization. The amortization is the debt service on there. So you may have the debt service and depreciation can be one and the same on that lender, and then you get the cash flow and appreciation. So it could work that way. You can mix this any way you want. You could even split 50-50 the cash flow. But typically when someone's looking for depreciation, they're not looking for cash flow. So hopefully you guys got a good nugget out of this. Let me know. Type nugget in there, type value, put some fire, some love in there, because I feed off your energy. Need to hear from you guys and know that I'm reaching you. I have so much I'm going to cover coming up. I have my 5-day challenge coming up. Ah! I have had so many great success stories coming out of that challenge. And hey, maybe you could be next, right? Like, so I'm going to go ahead and you could type challenge in the comments and let me know if that's something you want to know more about. We'll send you the deets. It is basically, it's in the top cover of the group here. You can go and you'll see, oh, I didn't go over this yet. So I'll do that, but you can go and you can see the, how to get registered right here. Okay. So we'll send that to you, but let's go over that appreciation because it's changing, right? And this is what I want you guys to have a little fire around is, once you understand the cash flow, appreciation, depreciation, and amortization, the 4 quadrants and how they work and how you can use them in different percentages per members of the LLC, right? Or if you're even greater members in the PPM, they get dividends. That's a whole nother training in itself. But what's changing as of January 1st is it's changing from 100%. So you used to get 100% of the depreciation, and you'll get it till the end of this year, right? You'll get it till the end of this year. And then come January, it's only 80%. So they're getting rid of this whole depreciation thing because the IRS, well, they want to keep more of the money they make, right? They're doing everything to keep money because I don't know if you noticed, but I go over I just want to look you guys in the eye real quick that I go over the whole debt service um, of our country, right, with my clients. And when I first started, it was at like 14,000, or I'm sorry, 14 trillion, right? I actually think I have it right here. Let me see if I could pull it up real quick because you guys really need to see this. It is something that is eye-opening. I think in this particular presentation I did it, it was 19, yeah, I have it here, 19,000. I just want you guys to see this. I'm going to pull it up so you can see it. If I can find me again. So our national clock, right, was, I don't know if you guys can see that here, but it was at 200. No, it's not me. Go the opposite direction, minus. Right? It was at 19,704 or trillion, Joanna, trillion. Right? So I'm going to click on this so you guys can see. I think I have it pulled up here. Yep. This is a live US debt clock. And you'll see we're at 30 trillion. So I did this presentation. I forget the date on it. I wish there was a date here, but it was at 19 trillion. This is just a few years ago, right? We are now unbelievably at 30 trillion in debt. Now there's a whole lot of detail here that you can get into, but I'm not going to do that today. But you can go to the US debt clock and know that shit's changing, right? So you need to get control of your future, So regardless of what the government's doing, regardless of how much money they want to print and screw up our economy, you need your own economic independence, and you can create that little bubble in real estate. Protect yourself with real estate assets that perform for generations to come. Like, you never have to sell this if you don't want to. You can treat it like an ATM, like some people that did in 2005 through 8 and then lost everything, right? But people pulled a lot of equity out of that cash that they didn't earn in a job. They were able to create in real estate. So if you do this strategically, it can cash out to be a lot of money. Let me help you understand. When I first got into real estate investing, my landlord had a stroke, right? She'd been living off of her real estate for years. She had a stroke. Her daughter came to the door, said, we have to sell off some of her inventory. And she was able to use the real estate, the assets, the equity, the cash from all of that to pay for her long-term care, to subsidize it, to get this special care, because not all insurance is the same, or especially even if you have Medi-Cal, right? You can't get the help that you need if you have a stroke. So she had a specialized speech therapist. She had all kinds of extra specialty care to recover from the stroke. Now, this took time. It doesn't happen overnight. So she needed thousands and thousands of dollars to be able to fund this. And all she did was sell off some real estate to fund it, to take care of herself. Now, so many people, when I first started in this business over 20 years ago, did not plan for medical emergencies, right? That's how I first realized that I needed to tell the world that they needed to do this, was looking at loans. People couldn't qualify for loans because of medical collections, right? So I'm telling you this because it's so important that you become a part of real estate investing. So important. And if you don't know how, join my challenge. I'm going to give you that information. Just type challenge in the comments, because you want to take care of, if nothing else, your future, right? If you're a single person all by yourself, you at least want to be able to buy your own groceries, have the electricity that you want, because California is cracking down on that right now. Have the lifestyle that you want, that money will pay for right now. Okay. The dollar has dropped quite a bit. So what you want is to get on something that floats, with the economy, and that's real estate. So the value of your money is going to grow in real estate. So I'm going to jump off my soapbox right now and leave you with this. If you're confused about any part of real estate investing, please reach out. I have a 5-day training coming up talking about your market, how to find deals in today's market, your return on investment, how to get the greatest return on investment, what are the numbers, get out of analysis paralysis, and how important team is, building team, vetting out contractors, realtors, attorneys, and then how to fund your real estate, because like those things keep people stuck. They don't know where to get started and they don't know how to fund it or where to find it. And then they get analysis paralysis. So I'm covering all of that in my 5-day challenge. So jump on board and I will see you on the inside. Hope you have a great day. Bye.